Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want this to be a long one, but we have the AEW roster tier list here for you today. There are so many names on this little tier list. Look at it. It's separated into men's division and women's division. I would have just done it by alphabetical order, but I did not want to add all these guys myself, so I just found a pre-made one on tiermaker, whatever the heck.com. You know the drill. It's a tier list. I'm going to try to speed through this because there are a lot of names, but like and subscribe. Thank you for all the support on all the other tier lists. I mentioned that in my podcast. And yeah, a new podcast every Wednesday. Check out the Money in the Bank 2010 one. It's fine. I think it's not that good, but it's my first episode of it, so I was trying to do good. Trying to do okay. But let's go. I just moved these people. What the heck? All right, whatever. We got Juice Robinson. Hasn't done much in AEW. Well, I mean, he's done a little bit. But recently, he did Bullet Club Gold. He's part of that with Jay White and possibly the Guns. I love Juice Robinson. I love his energy. I love his heel-like mannerisms. Ricky! You know, just him shouting. He's great. We got the tiers here. Just want to get that out of the way. We got Elite, which is like the best of the best. Great, which means, hell yeah, I like you a lot. Fine is like, you know, pretty good. Not terrible is like, I can stand them. And then we have meh. There's no bad tier because one of the good things about AEW is that there's nobody on their roster that, like, whenever they come on screen, I'm like, oh, fuck, not this guy. Ah, darn. I like pretty much everybody in AEW, which I can't say about the past WWE. Like, now in WWE, yeah, but, you know, past then, there's, like, a lot of guys I just do not care for. But here we go. We're going to continue at Julia Hart. She's been doing amazing stuff with the House of Black. I think she's been one of the more improved talents gimmick-wise, and I think even in ring-wise. So Julia Hart is going, not elite. Right now she's fine. She hasn't done too much in-ring stuff, but I do think she's really good in the position she's in right now, and I hope they keep it up. Now I have Aaron Solo, part of the whole QTV thing. He's going to go in meh. He seems like a likable guy, but the QTV stuff I don't care for, really. I like QT. I like, I think her name's like Danny something. But Australian lady, I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on the names. I'm trying to speed through this because I gotta upload this in less than 12 hours. So yeah, but QTV stuff isn't working for me, brother. So meh is where Aaron Solo goes. Now we have Action Andretti. Had a good like first month on AEW, beat Chris Jericho, and then kind of dipped into ROH, filling in for Dante Martin, teaming up with Darius. So yeah, a lot of people on Twitter are like, where's Action Andretti? I'm not booking him. Blah, 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 blah. Well, he's filling in for, you know, Top Flight, down Ring of Honor. Patience, but I like Action Andretti. Recently on Dynamite, his theme song, dude, like Lights, Camera, Action, that theme song kicks ass. I'm going to put Action Andretti in not terrible, just because he hasn't really done too much. Yeah. And I have Adam Cole, baby. He's going in Elite. He was fantastic in NXT. If we're basing it just off AEW, top of great. But this current thing he's doing with MJF should be fun. They announced that they're going to be like blind tag partners. That should be really fun. It seems like WWE level stuff, like, oh, will they coexist or whatever? But I feel like AEW can make it pretty interesting. But overall, I really like Adam Cole. And my other WWE tier list, based on the Raw and SmackDown drafts and stuff, that's based on predictions on how I think they'll do on the roster. Not just like if I like them, I'm putting them at the top, and if I hate them, I put them at the bottom. So just to clear up any confusion on my past tier list, this one's just opinion-based, you know? I'm not saying, you know, like, oh yeah, Action Andretti, best ever. But, you know, I'm being realistic. I like the guy, but, you know, he hasn't done much. But Adam Cole, I think I can put him in Elite. Like, everybody pretty much knows his reputation. He's one of the best. So yeah, and speaking of one of the best, I am a big fan of Hangman Page. Hangman Adam Page. His AEW title run, I feel, wasn't the best, but it also feels a little underrated. He had some banger matches, 2 matches with Bryan Danielson. He had that great match with Lance Archer, that Texas Death Match. That was so good. I love it. My favorite spot, that huge choke slam onto the side of the steel steps. Oh my god, it was so good. Time flies. That was over a year ago. But yeah, I really like Hangman Page. He's going in the Elite tier. Now I have Alex Reynolds, part of the Dark Order. Him and John Silver make a really damn good tag team. But recently, Dark Order just hasn't been featured much on BTE. They're consistent on there. They're really consistent on BTE. They might go and try to win Adam Page back from the Bucks, or maybe they'll go somewhere else. But I like Alex Reynolds and John Silver. You know, where is Johnny Hungy? Where's the man himself? This is the difficult part about everyone being alphabetical order. And I didn't switch anybody around. There he is. There's Meat Man, Johnny Hungy, putting him with Alex Reynolds. If we're basing off BTE, they'd be two of my favorites, dude. They're so funny. Them and Evil Uno. You know, let's grab Evil Uno. Put him up here, too. I've been a fan of Evil Uno since whatever it was, 2019, early 2020. I've always liked the Dark Order. Even with, like, the weird creepy guys, I thought it was at least kind of unique and interesting. Like, the little creepy, crawly guys that they were sitting on. That was weird, but it is what it is. I still like them, though. They're going fine. Only because they haven't been doing too much the past year or so. But now we have Andrade El Idolo. Made his return on Collision. I like Andrade. AEW-wise, he hasn't gotten to do too much. He had a couple good matches with Pac, I believe. Triple threat match with him and Sammy Guevara. Pretty good. Now he's feuding with the House of Black, it seems. And so, yeah, but if we're going off AEW, I mean, not terrible. I like Andrade quite a bit. I really liked him in NXT. Main roster, he was alright, at least during, like, the Rey Mysterio feud. But in AEW, he hasn't done too much. The Vicky Guerrero, like, debut with him wasn't that great. But, you know, it is what it is. Andrade El Idolo going in not terrible, but I could probably bottom of fine, honestly. Because just like Adam Cole, he has, like, I guess a legacy or a reputation. You know he's good. We just gotta hope there's something really, like... we just gotta hope there's a good way for him to showcase that. Now we have Angelico. Let's see. I really like Angelico. Him and Jack Evans were a good tag team. TH2, the Hybrid 2, I think that's what that was. I saw some of his stuff and highlights of him. I wasn't too familiar with him, but I saw some highlights from Lucha Underground, WCPW. Seems like a cool guy. I love how chill he is and how he's just vibing on his entrance. But he has not done much at all, man. I like the guy. But he has... I mean, I like him, so I'll put him in not terrible. If, like, they haven't done much and I'm not the biggest fan of them, they're going to meh. But I like Angelico. I like his vibe. He's really good at his submission game. I don't know what he'll ever do in AEW, but I like him. So he's going to not terrible. Now I have Angelo Parker, part of 2.0, part of the JAS, on the mic. Very good. Very cocky and just, like, funny heels. Him and Mike Menard. Or Mike Menard. I don't know. I keep forgetting their names. Where am I going to put you, Cool Hand Ange? I think I'll put them in bottom of fine. I'm not the biggest fan of 2.0, but I do like their charisma. Where is Matt? Matt Menard. Where are you, buddy? There you are. Matt Menard. Okay, I keep thinking I'm getting their names wrong. Guy. Daddy Magic. Cool Hand Ange. You want to make... You know, you want to know what gets Daddy Magic's nipples hard? I'm putting him in fine. Might get him hard. I don't know. Now we got Anthony Bowens, the 5-tool player, part of the Acclaimed. Probably right underneath the Young Bucks, my favorite tag team in AEW. They're just so good. Everybody loves the Acclaim. Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, daddy ass. What's not to love about him? Just the fan reception overall, they could go in elite. I think they are maybe the best homegrown thing, period, in AEW. Unless I'm forgetting someone. So, you know what? I'm putting the Acclaimed in elite tier. They're just so good. Where's Daddy Ass? Daddy Ass can maybe go a tier below, because he's not, like, the biggest singles and tag wrestler guy. At least, you know, not anymore. But he's part of the act, so you gotta show Daddy Ass some love. Where is Max Caster? There you go. His raps are so good, I know some people might find it, like, a little cringy. Sometimes they don't hit as hard as, like, the weeks before. But I love Max Caster. Him on Twitter, he's a fiend on Twitter, bro. Always calling out MJF, bro. Sus-ass tweets, but I love it. I love it. Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, Billy Gunn, the Acclaimed. Scissor me in the elite tier. Now I have Anthony Ogogo, and he had potential. I think he's been dealing with some kind of injury. I'm not sure. Also, COVID, I want to say, did something, like, kept him out of the States. But I know he's always preaching about how hard he is working, and he's a workhorse. His biggest moment, though, sadly, is the whole Cody Rhodes thing, where Cody Rhodes beat him because America. And yeah, but he has potential. I'm not going to lose hope for him just yet. But I'm going to have to say top of meh, only because what he's done just hasn't been that great. Although, with time, and if they give the attention back to him, and he's a hard worker, I think he can move up a little bit, but I'm going to have to put him top of meh. Now I have AR Fox. Lucha Underground is where I first laid eyes on this guy. He's really good. he's just fun to watch. He just is kind of a likable guy, honestly. But he hasn't had any like storylines. He's just kind of one of those dudes that like, hey, he's part of AEW. You feel really good for him. He's earned it. He's a workhorse. He's good in the ring. But, you know, storyline wise, hasn't done much. Tapa not terrible. Probably under Action Andretti, because at least Action Andretti has gotten like a big moment. So yeah, nothing against AR Fox, just hasn't done too much in AEW. But within a year, maybe that'll change. God, my voice is cracking. I'm trying to do this all with no cuts, because like I was saying, I really need to get this video out. I've been kind of slacking. Ari Daivari, he was okay in 205 Live in WWE, and he's okay here in AEW. The Trust Busters, I believe that's what they're called. His whole, like, I'm rich and you're not, LOL gimmick is kind of okay at times. At least he's kind of got an established character. At least you know what he is, you know what you're getting when you see him, when he comes on TV. So, but, yeah, I don't know. Maybe bottom not terrible, because I feel like he's a likable guy. But I just don't know. I don't know about Ari Daivari. Now we got the Guns. We got Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn. I'll go grab Colton after this. Austin Gunn, dude. I feel like he's the more charismatic out of the Guns, but both of those guys, top level heels. You hate them. Every time they're on your screen, you're like, oh, that's the Guns. But they've really improved. They're not just Billy Gunn's sons. They're not just the ass boys. If they do officially become like a part of Bullet Club Gold, I think it will do a lot for them. And I kind of like the guys, even though they're not the best in the ring. And, you know, they're not, like, super established. And they haven't found their footing 100%. I think they're definitely working their way towards that. So I'm going to put them in fine. I'm kind of more of a fan of the Guns than 2.0, just by a smidge. Just by a smidge. So I'm going to find Colton Gunn. But yeah, 2.0, I've mainly taken a back seat just with JAS Society. Oh my god, what am I saying? The Jericho Appreciation Society. Sports entertainers, but I still like the guys, so that's why they're staying in fine. But yeah, the Guns, I kind of said this for AR Fox, you know, like give them maybe within a year, and I think they could do some really good stuff. Now we have Bandito. Wasn't too familiar with him as well, like a lot of these guys, which is why I like AEW. They show guys that like, oh, I've seen clips of them on the indies and whatever other promotions they've done. But when they're on, you know, TV, they have like a couple good matches. You're like, all right, I get a feel of what this guy is. I like Bandito. Another case of like, he just seems like a likable guy, a likable luchador. I think he could become a champion within a year for sure. I think if Orange Cassidy was an international champion right now, I think Bandito would be a good contender for it. Maybe even trios champion with, well, I don't want to say best friends, but I do like the whole best amigos thing. Like when he teams with Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, I like the whole best amigos. I'm putting Bandito in great. I like Bandito quite a bit. I hope he gets a title within the next year. Hell, hey, maybe he could be, well, whoever is the TNT champion. It should be Luchasaurus, but Christian Cage kind of has other plans. But Bandito versus Christian, that could be a good match. So we got Big Bill, and I was like kind of middle of the road with Big Bill. But after his performance in that Battle Royal and that triple threat right around Double or Nothing, Big Bill seems like he's riding a wave of momentum. Sure, he hasn't been on TV in a bit. He's mainly like on Rampage. But that triple threat, like I was saying, in that Battle Royal, he had a great showing. I'm on the Big Bill bandwagon, baby. I'm hoping for a stellar next few months for Big Bill. I like him and Lee Moriarty. Not the full firm coming together, but him and Lee Moriarty, it's kind of like you got smaller, talented guy, big, pretty talented guy. I think if they stay a tag team or just like a duo, I would be fine with that. But Big Bill he's got big potential. And just as the months have gone by this year, I've been more of a fan of Big Bill. I like his look. He's always chewing on gum, or he's got that toothpick in his mouth, I think. I can't really remember. But he's got the big jeans on because he got big legs. And, you know, Big Bill, I like Big Bill. I really do. Now we're only at the Bees, dude. Oh my god, this is going to be a long video. Please forgive me. We got the Butcher and the Blade. We got the Blade, Braxton Sutter, I think his name was in Impact. I like Butcher and Blade. They haven't done anything really meaningful since, I want to say, like, I think they had a great Falls Count Anywhere match against Young Bucks, I want to say it was. It was either Falls Count Anywhere or Street Fight back at Daly's place during the pandemic. Very fun match. That's what I remember them most from. But other than that, they haven't done much. I like him, though. I really do. I'd say bottom of fine, but I kind of need a little bit more from him. Where's Butcher? There's Butcher. I put him up in not terrible with the blade. But they've been around in AEW since almost pretty much the beginning. So, you know what? Bottom of fine. I'm not too hot on them as I am for like Big Bill like currently. Actually, move Big Bill up a little bit. Just another tag team that you can throw out there and they'll have a pretty fun match. Yeah, I just, I need to move them down a bit. They've kind of lost me only because they haven't been on TV too much. But yeah, we're going to Brandon Cutler. I like him on BTE. You know, he was a funny guy wearing the face mask and he has the spray cans. He's just, you know, he's a stooge. He's not going to do anything super important. But, you know, he seems like a cool guy. He seems chill. He hasn't, like, he's just kind of more of, like, the managerial role. I'm sure he wrestles, like, every now and then. So we're gonna put him in. I mean, I like him, so I'll put him in fine. Just, like, regardless of what he's done in AEW, it's not much. He had that loser feud against Peter Avalon on AEW Dark Pandemic era. That was fun. But yeah, he's going in fine. Yeah, I really don't have much else to say about Brandon Cutler. He's just a good dude. Then we have Brian Cage, the Machine. And Hard Team Taz, cool. FCW champion, cool. Got kicked out, cool. Hasn't done much since. He's the Trios champion with Gates of Agony in ROH, which is good. He's on TV more frequently now with the Swerve, the Mogul affiliates, I believe they're called. But with Brian Cage, you just feel like there should be more to him. I know that's like a sentiment shared with like a good chunk of like the wrestling community, I want to say. Because like look at this guy, man. He's jacked. He can do like pretty crazy moves. Athleticism was off the charts with Brian Cage. I don't know about charisma. I've seen him in Lucha Underground. It's been a long time. I've been trying to watch old Lucha Underground, but it got moved to like Apple TV, and I'm not paying for that, man. I'm not paying for that. But I like Brian Cage. Just like Big Bill, I think he's got a lot of potential. I don't know when he'll ever like reach his like ceiling. I hope he's like not stuck under that ceiling and there's more for him to do. But I'm hoping, I have hopes for Brian Cage. Put him in the bottom of fine because I do like Brian Cage. And Brian Pillman Jr. So, dang, him and Griff Garrison, the varsity athletes, I believe they're called. They're kind of bland. They were getting some momentum. I want to say around 2021, early 2022. And then I think Griff Garrison got injured. Brian Pillman is just... what has he done recently? I can't even think. I don't know. I always liked the varsity athletes. I thought they were likable guys. Griff Garrison's... he's a pretty tall boy. Brian Pillman, I mean, they're both talented. Just nothing really is going on with them. And nothing ever has been really going on with them. There was like that bit where they might like split up, I think. They were like getting a little angry at each other. But I don't know. Ever since the Julia Hart thing, I don't think we've even seen any of them. So yeah, we're moving on to Brock Anderson. Speaking of haven't seen any of them, besides that one attack that Christian Cage and Luchasaurus did Brock Anderson another guy? I'm sure he's still trying to find his footing and being like trained and trying to be turned to like a top level star by Arn Anderson and other coaches maybe. But just like varsity athletes, just hasn't really done too much. We're approaching the 20-minute mark. I mean, we're moving through them. You can skip through it. I know it's a tier list. You usually skip to the end, or you skip through bits of where I might talk about your favorite wrestlers. You know, whatever. All right, we're going to talk about the House of Black right now. We have Brody King. I love the House of Black, and I'm biased because my current favorite wrestler, at least back for sure in the NXT days, I'd say from late 2017 to now, I'd say favorite current wrestler where everything they do, I try to follow it, and I just wish nothing but the best for the guy. Aleister/Malachi Black. I love him to death, man. I want him to be AEW champion. The feud with Cody was good. Then it kind of like dragged on for 3 matches, and then he lost one. and that was like the last time I think they faced. So it's like, oh wow, Cody beat him in their last little story match. That's interesting. But now, after a bit of I think he took some time off for like, mental health and just to heal. Kind of, I know he had some back issues, but House of Black right now on top of the trios division. They are the champs. Their whole look and their aura is cool. The open house match stuff they do, I know it's kind of silly with like the pick your own stipulation, and Best Friends did like, oh, no scary witches. Then they did like the no tag stuff with Action Andretti and Metalik and whoever else, I think AR Fox. And then they had the acclaimed match at Double or Nothing. All good matches. If we're looking overall and just like not opinionated, just like, oh, let's just look at them, I'd say great. But I'm such a big fan of the House of Black. I'm putting them in the elite tier with the acclaimed. Just super good, man. Buddy Matthews, he's really talented. He had a great match with Andrade El Idolo on Collision. Brody King is just a hoss wrestler. I hope he has a good match with El Idolo this Saturday on Collision. This should be coming out Friday, so, hey, hope you enjoy Collision tomorrow. But yeah, House of Black are amazing. Moving on to Bryan Danielson. He's gonna kick your fucking head in. He's going in the elite tier. He's super good. He's super good. What else is there to say? Put him up there with Hangman Page, Adam Cole. I'm not gonna really like shuffle him around like this, like too much. But it is what it is. I'm just shuffling however I feel. Bryan Danielson has put on nothing but banger matches. 2 with Hangman Page, 1 with Kenny Omega, Blackpool Combat Club. Yes, there we go, Nick. Thank you. It's been good. Anarchy in the Arena was fun. He's just like this vicious kind of like dickhead on commentary. Training Wheeler Yuta, training with the BCC in general. And he's going to face Okada at Forbidden Door, dude. It's going to be such a good match. It's going to be such a good match. So yeah, Bryan Danielson in the elite tier. There's no questions asked. It's kind of a shocker that he hasn't been AEW champion yet. Drink some water now. I got a lot more talking to do. But yeah, Bryan Danielson, I hope he is AEW champion before his career's up. I think he said after this year, he's not going to be like super full-time wrestler. So we might only see him wrestle like once every other month, which is a bummer, but I want him to be AEW champion. He deserves to be AEW champion. Even if it's not a long reign, maybe like a 3-month, 4-month reign, which would be on short terms compared to AEW title reigns. But yeah, Daniel Bryan, elite tier. Speaking of elite, we have FTR. I'm not the biggest fan of FTR, but they are one of the best tag teams in the game right now. I'm going to put FTR in great. They are like a straight shooter tag team. It's like no flips, just fists. But they can go a little crazy sometimes if it's called for. Where the heck is Dax Harwood? I got him with my mouse, and I put him in the great tier with Cash Wheeler. They were good as a revival in WWE. It seems like they have a lot more freedom to flex how good of a tag team they are in AEW. Yeah, they're, I believe, 2-time AEW tag champs. Super good. Top guys. They're buddies with CM Punk, and we'll get to him in a bit. And, some of their matches are hit or miss. Like, they are a very good tag team overall. I'd say top 5 tag teams in the world right now. And, some also, their stories could be a little better. But yeah, just plain and simple, I think FTR are great. And that's all I really got to say. Now I have Chris Jericho. Not controversial, just always seems to fall into the, Chris, what are you doing? He kind of falls into that little category. His stories go on for a bit too long. Sometimes he gets the win when he shouldn't. The Adam Cole match at Double or Nothing was okay, and then the finish just made it not that okay. It was like, oh, Sabu's here, and there he goes. I can't stop thinking about that match. That was kind of a disappointment. But Chris Jericho really helped AEW get off the ground. The big, first notable name to be a part of AEW. I think you just gotta put him in Elite, just for that alone. Plus his matches since losing some of that weight that he had back in 2019, 2020, 2021. He's gotten into better shape. Still putting on good matches, even though the stories might not be that great. He's still putting on some pretty banger matches, especially when he did, I believe, like the whole Lionheart stuff, and he went back to that. He could still go. Maybe not as good as he was like 5-6 years ago, but I think Jericho can still go. There's just, there's some minor flaws with the guy at some points, but I'm putting him in the elite tier for sure. We got Christian Cage. If your dad is dead, he will call your ass out. And I love heel Christian Cage. Since Edge's return and since Christian's return to the ring, Christian has been my guy over Edge. I don't want to do, the AEW, WWE comparisons, but I saw a little debate recently on Twitter, like, unpopular opinion, Christian's been better than Edge since both of their comebacks, and that is true 100%. Christian probably hasn't wrestled too much. I mean, he's wrestled like his fair share of matches, but now it seems like he's somewhat taken a back seat to wrestling since that injury before his match with Jungle Boy. I love Christian Cage. Just promos alone, he's such a dickhead. He is such a dickhead, and I love him. Christian Cage, going in elite. Actually, not top of great. I wouldn't say he's on the same level as House of Black for me, but he's up there for sure. If he does some fun stuff with the TNT title reign that him and Luchasaurus are, I guess, gonna kind of like share, then I can see him moving up to elite. But yeah, now we're going to Christopher Daniels. He's taken a backstage role, but he still comes out from time to time. The Fallen Angel. Good, reliable veteran. I hear that he has a hand in the Young Bucks and all the Elite's like story stuff, which their story stuff has been pretty good with the BCC recently, so props to Christopher Daniels. And, I like Christopher Daniels. I'm not too familiar with him. I don't want to pretend like I know his whole career, but I know he was an ROH guy, Impact guy. So I'm going to put him in fine. He hasn't done too much AEW-wise, like SCU, and that's about it. But yeah, Christopher Daniels, I like the guy. He seems really cool. And now we have the Best Friends. I love the Best Friends so much. Another case with Christian Cage where they're not on the same level exactly for me as like House of Black and Adam Page and Adam Cole and all them. But they're going top of great. Where is Trent? Where are you, Trent? I know you're around here somewhere. Yeah, we'll find Trent eventually. While I'm looking for Trent, Best Friends are just so fun. They're just so likable. If you don't like Best Friends, what's wrong with you? Which, you can have your own opinion. I don't care. But they're a good tag team. The combination of moves they have whenever they trio up with Orange Cassidy or, like I mentioned earlier, Bandito, they're just fun to watch. I really hope Trent and Chucky T, I hope they get a tag title reign in the future. I don't know how soon it'll be. Chris Statlander's a current champion. Orange Cassidy's current champion. You can have all the Best Friends hold just gold in general. I wouldn't be mad if they beat FTR, even though they're not probably on the same level right now. But you could build them up. They've been in AEW since like day one. Come on, give them a tag title reign. I love Best Friends. They're going in the great tier. Actually, no what? Nah, they're going in elite. I like them a lot. I really do. Best Friends are amazing. Anytime they're on my TV screen, I'm like, let's go. Best Friends. Yeah. We got Claudio Castagnoli, current ROH champion. He finally, he's getting to just have some banger matches. He had banger matches in WWE, but now it feels like he gets to be more of like a main event. Like, people take him more seriously probably in AEW now. Like, he's rolling with the BCC. He's just uppercutting. Great wrestler. He's going for it. I think Claudio Castagnoli, in AEW terms, probably not elite status, but he is up there for sure for me. I'd say slightly above FTR. I think he's talented. I could see him definitely holding some AEW gold after he loses the ROH title, whenever that may be. But he's having I don't watch ROH, but I'm sure he'll continue to hold that title for a little while longer and have a pretty good reign with it. And then he'll move on to maybe, him versus Orange Cassidy for an international title. Could be pretty good. But yeah, Claudio, going in great. I'm glad he gets to just like, I don't know, he feels like he's been treated like he should have been, like, for a while now. And I'm glad he's getting like some spotlight on him. But now, a man that gets a lot of the spotlight, we got Mr. CM Punk, Mr. Pipe Bomb, Mr. Brawl Out. Well, I mean, it wasn't just him, but Mr. Press Conference Man, Media Scrum Man, I guess. I don't know. I'm rambling here. CM Punk's been one of my top guys forever now. He's going in Elite. I'd say his actions are what they are. Before All Out, I would say Punk is probably my favorite wrestler of all time. But after just seeing the stuff he does, I mean, we don't know exactly all what went down because, a lot of it's like, hey, if you speak out, you're gonna get sued, so don't say nothing, please. Thank you. But I'm hoping all is well in AEW behind the scenes. And yeah, but excluding Brawl Out and his controversial actions there, CM Punk has probably been my favorite wrestler since 2012 maybe. I loved him when he was WWE champion. I still love him now. Now it seems like he's gonna turn heel. He's gonna be a little bit heelish. So CM Punk going to an Elite. He had such a good 2022. Besides the tail end, his full year being back in wrestling, the Darby feud, moving on to Eddie Kingston, Dog Collar, won the AEW title, got injured, came back. That was a bit of a mess. But up until that injury, dude, imagine if he got that match with Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. Holy crap. If he didn't get injured, I feel like things would have gone differently. Maybe they could have mended fences before the media scrum. It's just it's just a tough situation. Now we got Colt Cabana. Boom, boom. I'm not too familiar with Colt Cabana. He seems like a nice guy. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. He hasn't done much in AEW. He had a match against Chris Jericho. He was doing the Dark Order stuff. Top of meh. Maybe bottom, not terrible. Not top of meh. He just hasn't done much in AEW for me to really give an opinion on him. We got Danhausen. I love Danhausen. I was a big Danhausen guy before he even showed up in AEW, and when he did, I was so happy. He's injured right now, but he just, you don't take him seriously. You're just there on the side, getting paid, getting the monies. Good for Danhausen. I'm going to say he's going to hang in great. He's going to hang in the great tier. It's Danhausen. If you don't like him, sure, maybe he's not for you, but I love Danhausen. He does no harm, really. So yeah, we're going with Danhausen and great. We're moving on to Daniel Garcia. Really talented guy. Hasn't done too much for me, I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest, I'm more of a high spots, flippy dippy, fast paced stuff, but if you do some, well, my lights just flickered. Wow. But if you do some nice grappling and just nice wrestling in general, I'm gonna be a fan of you. And Daniel Garcia, he's kind of, nuzzling into that sports entertainer role, doing a little silly little dance of his. I like Daniel Garcia. You know what? I'll put him top of fine. I would say I'd rather watch a Bandito match over a Daniel Garcia match, but he is good. Just his wrestling style isn't my favorite kind of wrestling, but I do like Daniel Garcia, and I like the things he's been doing. So yeah, I'm just trying to, kind of trying to speed this up because we're getting towards 40 minutes. We got Dante Martin. He's injured right now. That nasty landing in that Ring of Honor ladder match, the Reach for the Sky ladder match, I believe it was. But I was real high on Dante Martin. He's so just crazy to watch in the ring. Just how effortlessly he kind of just levitates off the ground. Big fan of Dante Martin. Big fan of Top Flight. Darius had a couple bumps in the road. Dante Martin really got some spotlight when Darius was injured. So I'd say as a tag team, they're in fine. But since I really got to see Dante as a solo act mainly, I'm going to put Darius in fine. But Dante is going in great. I was a really big fan of Dante. Hope he gets better soon. And yeah, Darius, haven't seen too much from him. But as a team, him and his brother, good stuff, good stuff. We got Darby Allin. I'd say probably my favorite out of the four pillars. In that four pillars fatal four-way at Double or Nothing, a part of me, even though it seemed predictable, a part of me really thought, you know what, Darby could do it. I really think Darby could do it, and I hope Darby does win the AEW title one day. If he does end up climbing Mount Everest, I hope he wins the AEW title sooner rather than later. That way, you know, in case anything goes wrong, at least he could say he was AEW champion. But yeah, just super reckless, very dangerous. But he said that he doesn't plan on having a long career. He's just gonna do whatever it takes and just put it all on the line every match. And that's like an attitude that's both good and, oh my god, please don't kill yourself, Darby. But he's just fun to watch. You never know what Darby's gonna do. He's gonna just pull something crazy out mid-match. Be like, wow, Darby. Like that, it's not really even a suicide dive, but just like the running through the ropes and boom, just connecting, just throws his whole body into the guy on the outside. Darby's just fun to watch. I'm going to put him above Jericho, right next to CM Punk. It really doesn't matter like where I shuffle these guys, because like if I was being really opinionated, Malachi would be all the way at the top because he's my favorite going right now. But you know, it is what it is. Now we have Dustin Rhodes, the Natural. He's been buddy-buddy with Keith Lee recently. He just seems like a stand-up dude. I'm sure he's a good coach and mentor in the back for a lot of the guys there, a lot of the newer guys, and hell, some of the older guys too. On AEW TV, he's done some pretty good matches. He had that one at Double or Nothing against Cody. They're all bloodied. Crazy good match. Crazy good story. And then, you know, he's kind of... You know, he's like another guy, like, you know what you're getting with Dustin Rhodes. I think he's on, like, his last maybe year of competing before he probably retires. I don't know if he'll win any championship gold, but if he does, I won't be disappointed. So I'm going to put him top of fine. Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston. Love his promo work. I love his, like, brawling style. I love how much heart he puts into wrestling. I really like Eddie Kingston. I'd probably put him maybe very bottom of elite. I wouldn't say, like, I'm super high on him compared to, like, all these guys, but I think he's up there for sure. I'd say top of great. Maybe a smidge above Claudio. I know they don't like each other, but they're going to have to be next to each other on this tier list. So, I'm sorry. But yeah, I like Eddie Kingston. I kind of think... This is going to be a little spoiler. I don't know how many people are subscribed and going to keep watching this channel. If you're listening to me now, I got a fantasy booking coming up. And it's going to be who should dethrone MJF or how MJF loses the AEW title. It's going to be a little fantasy booking video where I like plot out storylines and stuff and then who dethrones him. Eddie Kingston is in that video. Is he the one that take the title of MJF? I don't know, but he's in that video. Stay tuned for that. It'll be my first ever fantasy booking type thing. So I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to look like a fucking idiot. But it is what it is. I love Eddie Kingston. He's going in great. Now I have Ethan Page. I really like Ethan Page. I feel like he's underrated, but not really, only because he hasn't... Like, I feel like people know he's good, but, like, they don't know that he's, like, really good. He's doing the thing with the Hardys right now. I'm sure that'll... I'm hoping it'll pay off, like, in a good way, where everyone gets out and gets what they want. Like, the Hardy Boys maybe end up winning their tag team gold. Ethan Page is going to be with them. Maybe he'll get cheered more and more, because, like, Ethan has to do the funny Hardy dance, haha. But Ethan Page... If I had to make a prediction of who all will win what titles in 2024, Ethan Page, TNT International, I'm hoping for it. Him with Scorpio Sky as well, Men of the Year. I like that tag team. Shame that the Dan Lambert stuff, the top team, whatever, I wasn't a fan of that. Shame that all kind of ruined their tag team mojo. I mean, maybe y'all liked it, but I wasn't a fan, really. But Ethan Page... I really do like Ethan Page, so he's going in great. Fuego del Sol, I think he just put out a Twitter video today, and it said, you know, July something is his last day in AEW. Sucks that he was injured the last, like, several months of his contract. He never really did much. He had just his big signing moment, losing all those AEW dark matches. Finally hitting, like, the Tornado DDT on, I believe, maybe QT Marshall. And then, you know, with Sammy getting signed, I want to say on Rampage it was, the first episode of Rampage. It was just such a good moment. If you know where Fuego del Sol's from, I believe he was, I forgot his name, I think it was, like, Cage. But KBW, Kids Backyard Wrestling, I think it was. I love that so much. I loved KBW. I hope I'm not butchering the name. But I love Fuego del Sol. So in a way, I've been watching him since his early days on YouTube, wrestling on his trampoline. Really like the guy. You know, just the chance and the moment he got on AEW, I feel like for like a fan watching him was like, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Good run. Maybe we'll see him back in AEW someday, but I'm sure he'll go on to do great things outside of AEW. But in AEW, he didn't get to do too much, but I'm putting him in fine because, you know, he helped me like enjoy wrestling or get into wrestling, because I saw KBW when I was just starting to watch WWE. It's like, wow, these guys are fucking crazy doing it on the trampoline. Maybe I can even do that. And I watched almost all their videos, or a good chunk of them at least. Love Fuego del Sol. He's going in fine. Emotional / silly little story over with. Now we got Hook, the cold-hearted, handsome devil, Taz's son. He's just so, like, flawless, isn't he? I mean, he doesn't do too much, but, like, everything he does, man, you just kind of buy. He's got the cool hair. He's got, like, the badass, just, like, the shorts. He's, like, he means business all the time. Hookhausen was fun. Jungle Hook is a thing now, and I'm pretty sure Jungle Boy is going to turn heel and attack Hook at Forbidden Door, because he's like, hey, you're my best friend. Be in my corner. But when I lose again in another big match, I'm going to be very upset. And I'm going to punch you. But I like Hook a lot. He's going in fine, though. He just hasn't done too much. But I like Hook. You know? Send Hook. We got Private Party. Momentum has been derailed numerous times. Because right now I feel like Quinn is injured, I think. I don't know if Isaiah Cassidy was injured at a point. I think he was as well. But Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy. I don't want to do this to Mark Quinn, but Isaiah Cassidy, the whole Moan thing. Since Mark Quinn's been injured, he's been doing fun stuff with Matt Hardy. The whole Moan thing is just silly. I like Isaiah Cassidy, dude. He's going top of fine. I like Private Party, like, as a tag team. But Isaiah Cassidy's really been, like, stepping into the spotlight here in recent months. But I do like Mark Quinn as well. I like the tag team. They beat the Young Bucks first episode of Dynamite. Maybe it wasn't first episode of Dynamite. But I know it was very early on in the Dynamite days. It'd be a shame if they didn't win tag team gold, but not every tag team can win tag team gold. So it is what it is. I do like Private Party, though. I like the shots. Very cool. I like Private Party. We got Jungle Boy. The hate on Jungle Boy is kind of interesting because it seemed like everybody liked Jungle Boy, and it's like, oh, 4 pillars. It's like, oh wow, I noticed Jack Perry can't cut a promo very well. Oh, I hate him now. I hate Jack Perry because he's not that great at cutting a promo. I loved everything else until that moment, but now I hate Jack Perry. It seems very sudden. That might just be me, but I still like him. I see nothing wrong with him. I like the sound of his voice. You know, he doesn't have to be the best at promos, but as long as I can get what he's saying, fine by me. And you know, I like Jungle Boy. I'm gonna put him very bottom of great. I don't really get all the hate for him. You know, if you have your own reasons why you dislike Jungle Boy, fine, cool. I like him, so he's going in great. Now Jake Hager, he likes this hat, but other than that, he hasn't done much. And he's, you know, I like the guy. I think he does little funny things here and there. Bottom of fine, top of not terrible, honestly. I mean, he's not even on TV that much. And when he is, he's not doing anything. So, Jake Hager, going not terrible. Now I have Jay Lethal. Lethal Injection. And just good wrestler, talented guy. He hasn't done much important things. I mean, he's been teaming with Double J Jeff Jarrett recently. Their whole stable they got going on there with Karen, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh. It is what it is. They're not awful. I don't hate them. In fact, I think they're kind of entertaining. But Jay Lethal on his own hasn't really done much. I saw some of his work in Ring of Honor. Really liked him. So he kind of just falls somewhere in the fine tier. I wouldn't put him in great. I'm gonna put him, I guess, just in fine. I don't want to really dilly-dally with, like, the in-betweens. So putting Jay Lethal in fine. Moving on to Jay White. He was going to go to WWE, but then he wasn't. And who knows where he's going to go, AEW, WWE. And he went to AEW, kind of unexpectedly. I just got home from being out for the day, turned on my TV, and I was like, wow, Jay White's running down the ring. What the hell? And the Bullet Club Gold stuff, I feel like some people don't like it. I'm fine with it. I don't mind it. Him and Juice Robinson, I do like. I feel like they have pretty good chemistry together. He's like the calm, cool, collected heel, and Juice is like, I'm gonna kill you. And then Jay's like, hey, come on now. But I like Jay White. I'm gonna put him next to Juice Robinson. I like Juice Robinson's charisma more than Jay White's like sinister, like ha 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 cockiness. But I'm sure in due time they'll probably be pushed up to elite. I think they'll do some. I'm hoping at least they'll do something really good with Bullet Club Gold. Now we have Jeff Hardy. Personal issues aside, maybe tied, and it switches depending on how my mood is. But he's up there in the conversation with CM Punk for my favorite wrestler of all time. I've loved Jeff Hardy since I bought his freaking 2009 DVD, My Life, My Rules, Jeff Hardy Story, I think it's called. Or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You know the cover, it's like purple and he's doing the swanton. I've watched that 3-disc DVD set probably about 4 times. And there's sometimes I just put the disc on in the background and have it like play through the matches. I love Jeff Hardy, man. He's going in elite. AEW wise because of the issues he's had. He hasn't been able to do much. His match against Darby Allin. Holy shit, dude. That's fucking nuts. They tried to oh dude, that match was crazy. Demolition Derby live on TV. But I love Jeff Hardy. Where's Matt while we're at it? Obviously I think I'm more of a Jeff Hardy guy than Matt. But I do like all the effort that Matt puts into his work. I don't like that he feels overshadowed sometimes by his brother. But it's just the way the cards were dealt and how the booking was in previous companies. But as a tag team, the Hardy Boys, I guess I should put them together since like right now they're kind of doing the whole tag team thing. So yeah, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, love them. AEW, they haven't done too much, but I can't put them any lower. I really can't. Now we have JEFFJARRETT, Jeff Jarrett. I like Jeff Jarrett. He's just, it's mainly Twitter. All the people like, yeah, Jeff Jarrett, he's gonna be world champion. Yeah, let's go. Bree woo wee woo. I love Jeff Jarrett, and mainly because of Twitter, which Twitter's a hellscape, but sometimes they make me enjoy things a little more. I like Jeff Jarrett, and you know he hasn't done too much. His match with Jay Lethal against FTR at Double or Nothing felt like it went on forever, but there was some fun shenanigans in it. I didn't mind it. We're approaching 50 minutes. I'm sorry if I keep bringing up the time. We're going to put Jeff Jarrett next to Jay Lethal. I feel like that makes the most sense. Because, you know, they're a fun little stable. But they don't really do too much for me. But I just, you know, I like them quite a bit. We're going to put the other homies with them. Sanjay Dutt, as Tony Schiavone said. And then where's Satnam? Satnam Singh. Is he on here? There he is. This guy's so tall. I know that's like the only personality trait they've given him, but I don't know. He gives me very likable guy personality. Like, I feel like if I ran the Satnam Singh at like Walmart, I was like, hey, how's it going? He'd be like, you know, hey, how's it going, man? I don't know. He just seems like a big friendly giant. So Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, Jeff Jarrett, gonna sit next to Jay Lethal. Honestly, wait, I might put Sanjay just a smidge above everybody because Sanjay Dutt is just, I don't know, he's just so funny. He's always like bug-eyed. He's really like hyper. It's like, I like Sanjay Dutt. Now we have Jon Moxley. He's going in elite. I like Jon Moxley. It sucks that his first AEW title reign got kind of cut by the pandemic, but he had some pretty good feuds and matches during the pandemic era. I think he's the only 3-time AEW champion. Well, interim champion was one of those times, but he won it. Lost it. They did the interim thing. He won it and beat CM Punk to become official champion. Then lost it to Punk. Then won it in that tournament. Just really messy AEW title stuff. But he's there when AEW needs him. He's like probably, if we're not talking about the elite, he might be the AEW guy. And I feel like that takes a lot of like holy shitness, because the guys that are called the elite that founded or helped founded All Elite Wrestling, if you were up there with them as like, when I think of this company, I think of you. Good effing job, Jon Moxley. Maybe that's just me trying to like put a bigger twist on it than it needs to be, but I feel like that means a whole lot, and that's a pretty big deal. So I love Jon Moxley. I love what he's done for the company. AEW would not be the same without him. Yeah, say what you want about the whole deathmatch stuff that he does. It's like, it's fucking awesome. You know, Violence is fine in wrestling. It's not every match, alright? Yeah, he bleeds, but that doesn't mean it's like hella violent, okay? Get over yourselves. Okay, we got Josh Woods. I feel like he's with Ari Daivari? Yeah. Ari Daivari. Is he? Yeah, he is. Yeah, Ari Daivari and Tony Nese. There we go. That's who I'm thinking of. Wait, so what hold on. Oh, is Ari Daivari not with Tony Nese and them anymore? No. It's oh, it's fucking Mark Sterling, Tony Nese, and Josh Wood. Wait, Ari Daivari's with the Trustbusters, is he not? With Sonny Kiss and Slim J or whatever his name is. Am I stupid? I don't know. Okay, while we're here, while we have all these names being mentioned, is Sonny Kiss on this list? I think they should be. Am I... Oh, there, yeah, okay, there they are. Okay, I was like checking everywhere. Alright, Truthbusters. They're kind of more of AEW Dark, switching up to Ring of Honor. But let's just get it. Okay, so let's go. Josh Woods, I mentioned to my friend while we were watching Double or Nothing. I think he was either in the Battle Royal or just standing at ringside. He looks like he could be a top star. Like, he has that look to him. I know I believe he was Ring of Honor Pure Champion, I think. But I'm not too familiar with him, so I'm going to put him in the med tier. But his look alone, I think they got something with Josh Woods if they capitalize on it. Mark Sterling, he's done the stuff with Jade, Tony Nese, MJF even. Mark Sterling is just a fun guy. I don't know what else there is to say about him. I don't know. I like him. Maybe he might not be your cup of tea when it comes to managerial stuff and comedic stuff, but I like Mark Sterling. And now we're going to Tony Nese. I've always been like a little fan of Tony Nese. Like, I've never been like, let's go, Tony Nese. But every time he's on my TV screen, I'm like, you know what? He could be doing something more. I think he's a good wrestler. I think even in WWE, the simple little point to his 8-pack thing, like where he'd stand in the spotlight and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and, point at his abs. I think that was good. It was simple, but I think it was good heel work. And now, on Collision, this might be a bit too, I don't know, silly for some of the wrestling fans or whatnot. But his whole, we're going to do some group training, everybody stand up, stretch, and touch your toes. I quite like that, honestly. I thought it was pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like Simon Dean, like the health guy. So yeah, I like Tony Nese, smart Mark Sterling. Sonny Kiss hasn't done too much, but I do like them. I think they're talented, athletic through the roof, but just hasn't been able to really do much on TV. So we're gonna put them meh, but not terrible. No, we'll put them not terrible. Along with, you know what? Along with Ari Daivari, because I every time I see him, I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan, but you know what? I feel like if they get put on TV more, they'll definitely grow on me. So both these two right here, not terrible. Tony Nese, smart Mark Sterling. I feel like those two just as a pair alone are good. We're moving on to Keith Lee. Who am I? I am Keith Lee. Da 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 da. I like Keith Lee a lot. Don't you forget about Keith. AEW sort of has, but he's back with gray hair and a cloak of some sort. He looks kind of silly, but at the same time, it's Keith Lee, so it's like, whatever you wear, man, let's effing go. You're still Keith Lee. Put him in great. He's a tag team champion with Swerve Strickland, Swerve in Our Glory. That was a fun tag team. I feel like that'll go down as one of the more underrated AEW tag teams. Because even though their feud right now has like been stretched to all hell and they have not had a singles match, which is baffling. They should have done it at Double or Nothing. But as a tag team, they're still pretty good. I like Keith Lee. Putting him in great. Limitless. Yeah. Now, if Kenny Omega, we know where we got to put Kenny Omega. We know where we do. Top of, I feel like, just like Jon Moxley, he is the AEW guy. Probably more known for his New Japan stuff a little bit, and then, the whole forming AEW with the Bucks and Hangman and Cody and whatever. But I like Kenny Omega. Best bout machine. Dude, that steel cage match on Dynamite a few weeks back. is probably my favorite steel cage match I've ever seen. That V-trigger through the cage, Kenny almost snapped his leg in half. Man's crazy. Man was wrestling with like duct tape holding his ligaments and shit together, bro. I mean, I don't condone it in a way like, hey, yo, keep doing that, yeah. But props to Kenny for putting on bangers when he's banged up. You know, I can't say enough good things about Kenny Omega. He goes in the elite, so top caliber athlete. Yeah, Kip Sabian, another one of those guys where it's like I feel people aren't the biggest fan of him, but every time I see him, I'm like, yeah, he should be doing more. Go Kip. I like Kip Sabian. I like his look. Just if he were to just stand there with his eyeliner and his bleach blonde hair and his like cool coat and ring gear, good on you, Kip Sabian. You look fucking dapper as hell, my boy. Commander. I haven't seen much of him. He does the thing where he runs across the ropes and does a little cool little flip thing. He's fun to watch. He's luchador. Hasn't given me a reason to care other than I wrestle good. What's up? But he's fairly new. A lot of these guys are still fairly new to AEW. You know. So I can't just be like, oh, you've done nothing. F you. Go to meh. I don't like you. But I feel like Commander's a likable dude. Likable luchador, like I said for Bandito. Just he hasn't, you know. It seems like that tightrope thing he does is like the only thing he does. Or not only thing he does, but like the only thing that's like, oh, Commander's out tonight on the show. He's going to do that move. And then he'll either win or lose. So, I hate to be that guy. But I that's what I've noticed. It seems like it's just that move and then like the shooting star press to the floor. You know, good athlete. But I just don't have a reason to really get behind him right now. Konosuke Takeshita, let's go! He likes Cinnabon. Oh, speaking of he likes Cinnabon, or cinnamon rolls or whatever, that shirt AEW came out with, I'm not going to put it up on screen, but if you look on Twitter, or just like, look for the new Takeshita shirt, what the hell is that shirt, shop AEW? What are you doing? But I like Takeshita. Him and Don Callis, what did Moxley call him on AEW? Tall, dark, and, tall, dark and handsome, sexy. What do you call him? I don't know. It was funny. I like him and Don Callis as a pairing. I don't like Don Callis. I don't like him when he gets on commentary. He just kind of annoys me, which I get. It's his job, but it's like when I hear his voice, I'm like, okay, God, shut up, please. I'm begging you. But I like Takeshita. He had a great match with MJF. I believe his first ever Dynamite match was against Hangman Page when they were building up to Double or Nothing last year, and I saw that live. His first match. And I was like, damn, this guy just put on a fucking great match with Hangman Page. I like this guy. And I haven't been stirred away from that opinion since. I like Takeshita. I feel like him and Omega will have like a one-on-one match, maybe at All In, All Out. I'm not sure what they'll do there. I still feel like they might do something with Ospreay. But yeah, I like Takeshita. Going in great. I didn't mean to do that. We're almost at an hour. If you're still watching, oh my god. Okay, we're almost through all the men. Then we got the women's division, which isn't as big. So, we're hanging in there. Oh, there, Harley Cameron. That was her name. The Australian lady I was talking about earlier. Yeah, but I know her name's like Danny something. I don't know. We got Kyle Fletcher, part of Aussie Open. He had a great match against Orange Cassidy. He's had a couple tag matches on Rampage and Dynamite. Trios tournament thing they were doing. United Empire, him, Mark Davis, I think his name is. I'm not too familiar with Aussie Open, but those two, Will Ospreay, great trio. I'm gonna put them in fine for now, but before the year's up, I feel like I'll put Aussie Open in great. They're a fun tag team to watch. Where's Mark Davis? There he is. Put you right there. Aussie Open, they're fine. Give them some more time on the AEW roster on TV, and I'll like them a lot more for sure. We got Kyle O'Reilly. He's out right now. I was hoping he'd come back during the Adam Cole-Jericho feud, just maybe even the odds, you know, him, Roddy, helping out Adam Cole. But, you know, he needs to take all the time he needs. Hope he comes back better than ever. I feel like he should have won the Owen Hart tournament last year. I think it came down to, like, he beat Phoenix at the show I was at, the same show that had Takeshita versus Page. The fact that he beat Ray Phoenix, which I feel is, like, one of the more notable guys in AEW, like, he's not, like, main eventer right now in AEW. But for Kyle to beat Ray Phoenix, I thought that was huge. But I think he lost to Samoa Joe. And they weren't going to do Kyle versus Adam Cole, at least that early on. But I really like Kyle O'Reilly. I think when he comes back, it'll be a great pop. It'll be a fun moment. I don't know if they'll do like an Undisputed Era thing with him, Roddy, and Cole. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But regardless, I like Kyle. Personality-wise, he'd be elite. But I've loved everything he's done in AEW. I have no reason not to put him in elite. So you know what? Bottom of elite you go, Kyle. I like you a lot. Hope you're doing all right, buddy. We got Lance Archer. A big monster guy. Should have been the first TNT champion. Sorry, Cody Rhodes, but that's just the way I feel. I know he was a beast in New Japan. I wasn't too familiar with him until he showed up in AEW. Him and Jake the Snake feel like a good pairing. And, you know, he just hasn't done much. It's like, when he gets called up for a big match, you know he's probably gonna lose it. But it'll be a fun one. But yeah, I like Lance Archer. If he was shown more on TV, I think he's been injured recently. Oh, I know, he was in the G1, or he's gonna be in the G1. I'm not sure. But either way, I think I'm just, like, getting off track here. I would put him bottom of great, but he just hasn't done enough yet for me to put him there. I know I'm putting a lot of people in fine, but, like, there's nobody really in AEW that I don't like. I like all of them. So, yeah. Lance Archer will go somewhere in fine. Nah, top of fine, honestly, because he's borderline into great for me. We got Lee Johnson. I think he was with Brock Anderson and under the tutelage or learning tree of Arn Anderson. I don't know what he's done in recent months. Yeah. Lee Moriarty. I love his theme song. I love his mask. You know, Tyga style. I mentioned him and Big Bill. I like them as a duo, but even if they were to go separate ways, I like them both still. Where's Big Bill? Where did I put Big Bill? He is right there. I'll put him with Big Bill. I like Lee Moriarty. I got no complaints about him. He just hasn't really been in any important matches other than, like, the one time he faced CM Punk. But he hasn't really done anything, like, not really any stories. I don't really count the whole Firm thing as, like, a story. Like, he wasn't really, like, a major part of it either. It was mainly, like, kind of, like, Big Bill being the tall guy, Ethan Page being the underrated guy, Lee Moriarty being the good wrestler, slightly underrated, but hasn't done too much yet, so okay. But I like Lee Moriarty. So yeah. He's going fine. We got Luchasaurus up next. Luchasaurus. Oh, this video is going to be so long. Luchasaurus is going in. I don't know. I feel like I like Jack Perry more. But as a tag team, they were both good. He's turned heel. He's with Christian Cage, the dad hater. Technically, he just won the TNT title, so I should be like, damn, look at him go. But I don't know. I feel like his gimmick is being a dinosaur, but he's a human. But he goes, ah, but then sometimes he talks. I just don't know I don't know how to feel about Luchasaurus. He confuses me. I know him better as, like, Austin from Big Brother season, whatever, like 15 it was. I don't know. But yeah, Luchasaurus is fine to watch. He's okay in the ring. Just, I don't know. I like him enough to not put him in not terrible and meh. But I just don't know. I think he's a good right hand of destruction to Christian Cage. So I think top of fine is a good spot for him. If he was still a good guy, he'd be a good merch pusher. Because of the mask and kids like dinosaurs. So, you know, cool. We got Luther. Okay, this might be, no offense, this might be the one dude in AEW where I'm like, oh god, it's Luther. But he was a deathmatch wrestler in Japan. He's good buds with Jericho, I believe. Just everything I've seen him in, it's just kind of awkward looking. But, you know, I'm sure he's a nice guy. So Luther goes a meh. Yeah. Mark Briscoe. He has been great in everything he's been put into on TV. He's just a real likable dude, isn't he? He's going in great. I mean, you know, the Jay Briscoe Memorial show they did on Dynamite, him versus Jay Lethal, that main event, such like an emotional little match. Everything going on behind it. I like Mark Briscoe. I think, honestly, he's one of those guys, he could be a champion leading into, maybe like a late 2024, 2025 kind of thing. I feel like he'll win something important. I don't know what. If he wasn't doing all this, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal feud stuff, he would be a good contender to maybe win that Owen Hart tournament. I don't know. That's just me doing a shot in the dark right there. But yeah, I like Mark Briscoe. He's been enjoyable in everything on AEW. We have Mark Henry. There are some like just staff members on here, I think. Yeah, like down here it goes to, like Taz and Shivani and all them. I don't know. I'm not gonna add Fish, Chavo, Cody, Frankie, and all them. So yeah, like I said, this was pre-made. But yeah, Mark Henry. It's time for the main event. I feel like it's not fair to judge him based on like a talent level, because he's kind of just there to do that. It's time for the main event thing. But I like Mark Henry. It's hard not to like Mark Henry. So I don't know. I mean, he's great at what he does. So I guess put him in great. I don't know. He said he was open to having a retirement match. That'd be cool to see. If he does that, I wonder who Mark Henry would face. If I had the book of Mark Henry retirement, this video is gonna be long enough as it is. But if I had the book of Mark Henry retirement match in AEW, I'd want him to face. I don't know. Who would Mark Henry face in AEW? I'd want it to kind of be like a big guy, but at the same time, maybe someone who's like medium sized, but that can go crazy. Oh my god. Okay, I kind of want to see Mark Henry versus Bandito, just for Bandito to do that like recoil off the top rope German suplex thing. Holy shit, could you imagine him doing that to Mark Henry? Alright, but either way, Darby Allin versus Mark Henry would be fun. Imagine Darby just fling it. If Henry had like a heel run in AEW, him versus Darby would be actually fantastic. Same with Mark Henry like Samoa Joe. Alright, moving on. We got the Young Bucks. Matt Jackson. I love the Young Bucks. Personally, I know this debate has been going on for like years now. It's always been like really the Usos and the Young Bucks, who's the best tag team the past like 3 years or so. Young Bucks all the way, baby. I love Matt. I love Nick. I watch BT pretty much every week. You know, not every episode, but I like them. They're great in the ring. They're not just spot fest guys. But even if it was just the moves they did, they would still be one of the best tag teams ever. But because they're funny, because they're charismatic, because they helped found AEW, because they could be emotional storytellers, just good on the Young Bucks. I know they had the brawl out thing, and you never really know whose fault it was. You know, when you look at it from outsider looking in, it's like CM Punk said nasty things, ooh boy. And Elite came and said, hey man, why you say nasty things? And then fight happened. But I know there's more to that. Punk even said there was more to that because he was hurt. He knew he was injured. And back to Punk. I like that Punk like realized it wasn't the right way to go about it. I like that he didn't go, fuck it, you know? I wanted to do it, fuck him. Yada yada yada. I should have said that a long time ago or whatever the hell. I'm glad he was like, oh, that was not the right thing to do. Sorry, Tony, for putting you in that position. He was just irritated and annoyed. Good on Punk for saying that. I know that ESPN interview kind of was a little bit like, ooh, I don't like Punk because he was talking crap about Hangman again. Or, ooh, I like Punk because he's cool. But can't we all just get along? I like the Punk. I like CM Elite and the Punk. Okay, moving on. Young Bucks best tag team. Maybe not of all time, but currently best tag team in the world. My opinion, I'm sorry. Matt Sydal. I've always been an Evan Bourne fan. Did I say Bourne? I don't know. Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal. I've always liked Matt Sydal. He hasn't done much. I think he's doing some ROH stuff right now. He did a bit of that, hey, I want to be your mentor to, I want to say Lee Moriarty and maybe Dante Martin, I think. He had a match with CM Punk. Pretty good match. He hasn't done much, but I am a fan of Matt Sydal. I do like him. Michael Nakazawa, Baby Oil, and also Stooge with Brandon Cutler. I'm sure he's a nice dude. I've seen maybe 3 matches with him. He's okay. He's funny. Comedic guy. He's going top of meh. Under Cole, you know. I gotta show respect to Colt Cabana. But, you know, whatever. We got Miro, God's favorite champion, the Redeemer. Game over. Miro versus Mark Henry would be good, I guess. I like Miro. He just seems like he knows what he wants. The last year, I think last year he only wrestled like 4 matches, but he's back on Collision. Hopefully everything will get back on track. I like Miro. He's not one of my favorites, but I do like Miro. And, you know, I think he has a lot of emotion on his face when he does the impactful moves. I like the Redeemer. He seems like passionate in all of his promos. He takes what he does seriously. I'm glad he stepped up from the whole, like, gamer guy, even though, you know, when he was the best man with Kip Sabian, I didn't hate it. Sure, he could have been doing more stuff like he is now, but, you know. But yeah, I like Miro. Bottom of great, top of fine. I'll put him bottom of great. We have MJF, the current AEW champion. And love him or hate him, you gotta admit, MJF is just one of those guys. He feels like a main event guy. He talks like a main event guy. He doesn't hold back any bullshit when he talks, and sure, it'd be like, oh, he does the whole bidding war of 2024 thing a lot. But yeah, he's supposed to be like an annoying dickhead about everything. He's a heel. He's like the best heel in wrestling right now, I think. I can't think of who's a better heel than him. I know he gets compared to The Miz a lot, which no offense to The Miz. I love The Miz. I think Miz is probably one of the all-timers in WWE right now. That's still going. But MJF is just on another level. Like, you know, you can't be on the same level as the devil. Yada yada. It's MJF. He goes in the elite tier. Alright. Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry this video's long. We got Mr. Brody Lee Jr., -1. You know, he seems like a fine kid. He seems cool. I'm sure he'll grow up, and it'd be really cool to see him, like, if he ever has, whenever or if ever, he has his first match in AEW, it'll be a very, very special moment. And even if you're the biggest AEW hater, you cannot deny that. I feel like it's weird to like rank a kid in this tier list, but based on all the talent I've seen out of Brody Lee Jr., you know, he whacked MJF over the head with a kendo stick. That was pretty good. So anyone that hits MJF is cool in my book. He's going great. And now we got Mr. Brody Lee. Just the short time he had in AEW, being revealed as the Exalted One, I believe it was called, and the Dark Order stuff, he really turned Dark Order into like, okay, they're like a evil group of spooky guys. He really kind of turned them into like part fun-loving. Man, what the hell? I don't care. Stop it, Facebook. Anyways, he really turned Dark Order around, you know, fun-loving, but also they can get stuff done in the ring. The dog collar match with Cody, the squash with Cody, the title match against Moxley going through the stage. Short time in AEW, but it was a pretty good time. And the Brody Lee Memorial Dynamite, they did emotional, you know. I remember exactly where I was when the news broke about his passing. I was like streaming. I just click on Twitter, and as soon as I see that graphic from AEW, I'm like, holy shit, what? I'm just like staring at my second monitor for like 10 minutes, just like, ow, I kicked my trash can. I didn't do that, but I was still like, holy crap. So, R.I.P. Mr. Brody Lee. You know, even if you just take into consideration that short window he was there, he did some pretty good stuff. So you can't argue that he's in the elite tier. All right, my voice is draining. Let's go, Nick Camarado. He was like the Freak Beast. I think that's what they call him. I think that's just his Instagram handle. I don't know. But then he like slicked back his hair and he wore like a vest or a jacket and then has a toothpick. I don't know what's going on with Nick Camarado. Yeah. You know what? Bottom of not terrible, because I do think he has. I liked him quite a bit. I was like very interested in like, ooh, this guy's a fucking monster. Go Nick, because my name's Nick too, so we gotta stick together. But yeah, I don't know what the hell he's doing now. I really couldn't tell you. We got Orange Cassidy going in elite, and honestly, he's my favorite champion probably. In all, next to the House of Black, my favorite champion in all of wrestling right now. Sure, all of his matches recently have ended on the roll-up, but he's nursing that injured hand. You know, if you've wrestled 20 straight matches week after week, or even just week after, you know, like, only if you have like a small resting period, 20 matches is still quite a bit defending that title in a very like short amount of time. You know, you can't, it makes other guys look like weak if you have them just dominate or hit like the basic orange punch one, two, three. Like, he's got to get those, like, oh, shoot, he's barely hanging on that title, but he's still a fighting champion. So I feel like it makes sense. If you don't like his title reign or you don't like the constant losses and roll-ups to his opponents, understandable, honestly. Orange Cassidy probably in my top 5 AEW guys right now. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not putting him in any particular order, like I've said, but I want to put him at the top. Put him above Page and Adam Cole right now. You know, honestly, shit. All right, we're going down. We got Ortiz, Santana Ortiz, Proud and Powerful. I think that's what they're called, Proud and Powerful. They were part of the Inner Circle. Santana got injured in the Blood and Guts match. That was unfortunate. That was very early on in the match too, so that sucked. Tisk Tisk. I don't really know, because Ortiz hasn't been on TV recently. I might be crazy, but was he on an episode of Ring of Honor? Because I see when they advertise, like, the match cards for the show. I swear I saw Ortiz on there. I don't know. Santana also posted, like, a video about his return, or, like, kind of teasing a return. So Santana Ortiz, they, like, came in, they were a pretty big deal. I think they beat the Young Bucks, joined Inner Circle. Then, yeah. Then JS was a thing, and they kind of said, all right, we'll fight with Eddie Kingston. But I don't know. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride the last year and a half for Santana and Ortiz. But I do like them, so they'll go in fine. Yeah, right there. We got Pac. We have the Bastard. Let's see. I want to put him very bottom of Elite, but because of all the visa issues and the COVID regulations that had him not really appearing as often, it's hard to be like, oh, Pac's one of the best. I mean, he is, but from what we've seen in AEW, he just hasn't been able to do too much, and it's kind of out of his control. But Pac, going in great. I do like him. Every time he's on TV, since it also kind of, like, works in his favor a touch that he shows up on TV kind of, like, sporadically. Like, he has moments, like, months where he's not there, and then he finally comes back for a bit. And it kind of makes you go, oh shit, Pac's back. All right, I gotta see what's going on. So yeah, Pac's going in great. Parker Boudreaux, or Boudreaux, or whatever. The next Brock Lesnar, they were calling him. Yep. That's a lot of pressure to be put on a guy, though, so I feel bad. You know, a lot of people poke fun, like, oh, the next Brock Lesnar. Look at you, dude. But, like, that's a lot of pressure to put on a guy, saying you're, like, the next big thing, and then, like, people reporting that, like, oh, he hasn't been impressing anybody too much. He's still a bit, you know, in the ring. Just, I don't know. He seems like a likable guy. But, yeah, he just hasn't done much. You know, Trench, though. Trench, what? What's been going on with Trench? He showed up, he's like, whoa, he's covered in tattoos, look at him go. And then he, like, didn't do anything. I don't think he's out of a match yet. What is he supposed to be? Anyways. Oh, yeah, wait, no, Parker is with the Trustbusters. Yeah, I think. Oh, that stable's a mess in my head. I can't remember shit. All right, Paul White. He's had, like, 2 or 3 matches. QT Marshall at All Out 2021 is the last match I can remember. I think he faced, like, Ricky Shane Page, I think his name is. I don't know. I try to keep track of all these guys' names. But he's, like, half competitor, half commentary. I guess he was just there to, like, have a few matches and be like, hey, let's go. I can still wrestle, but also I'm going to chill for a bit and do commentary. But yeah, I like Big Show. I like Paul White. You know? It is what it is. We got Penta. I like Penta a lot. I feel like numerous times, especially when he's in, like, a ladder match for, like, the casino ladder match or, like, a battle royale, I feel like he's always one of my picks to win. Like, if he's in that match, I'm like, ooh, you know, I can see Penta taking a little bit of a step up and going towards, like, a singles championship. And he just hasn't yet, but he's been tag champion. Rey Fenix had the arm injury, though, so that sucked. But other than that, you know, he's solid. Death Triangle was great. Trios champions. They had that best of 7 with the Young Bucks. Penta was a fucking menace and on top of his game in Lucha Underground, breaking people's arms. But we haven't seen that main event level Penta in AEW, but I really do like Penta, El Zero, Miedo. Yeah, I like the Lucha Bros. Where's Ray Phoenix? I guess they're basically the same. Like, both of them are really good in AEW. I mean, Lucha Underground. And, like, they both can be main eventers in their own right. Like, if they ever say, hey, let's take a break from tag team action, let's go for our own gold ourselves, you know? Both these guys could be up there. I'd love one day for these guys to be in the finals of a big important tournament. Maybe like the title eliminator thing they do at Full Gear. And then I feel like I'm more of a Penta fan than Ray Phoenix. But that's just me. But we're moving down to Powerhouse. Booking has been very stop-start. It's like the Book of Hobbs. Then like he dominates people. And then he wins title. And then he loses title. And then he has to be built back up again. And it's just... He really only has squash matches. Unless it's like against Wardlow or Ricky Starks. It's a squash match. And I don't know if I'm crazy for saying that. I can't remember the last Powerhouse Hobbs match that wasn't like just like a squash. I know he had one against CM Punk, but I don't know. I like Powerhouse. I like Powerhouse though. I really do. He can shine on his own on Collision. He's part of the whole QTV thing, which kind of brings him down for me. But, you know, he's just not there yet, but I think he very well could be. He's just gotta, like, stay on the momentum. He can't, like, have a good wave of momentum and then just be like, oh, put him away, you know? Which, that's not his fault. But yeah, I like Powerhouse Hobbs. He's doing fine. Preston Vance. El Perro something. I don't know. He's with Roosh and... fuck, I'm blanking. Whatever. The assistant. Jose the assistant. Yes. Aha. I liked him better in Dark Order. I mean, now he's getting all bloodied in Texas Tornado matches. So I feel like he's more of like... I feel like he's taken a bit more seriously now since he's like a heel. He made -1 cry, or like he stepped on his mask or something on Rampage a while ago. But that's like the biggest thing he's done since turning heel. Was just that heel turn and then... Okay, guys, I'm with Rush now. Or Roosh, whatever. But yeah. We got Pretty Peter Avalon. I like Peter Avalon. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's funny. But that's mainly because of the BT stuff. But even some of the dark stuff I've seen, no reason to not like Peter Avalon. Gonna put him in fine. QT Marshall, gonna put him top of meh. Because low-key, I do like QT Marshall. I feel like he's overhated. But then, like, the things he does is just, it's not it. It's really not. But I do like the guy. I think he's an okay wrestler too. But maybe he should stick to behind the scenes stuff and then I don't know. I don't know. We got Ricky Starks up next. Let's go. We're scrolling up. I think top of great. One more like big storyline that I like really enjoy and Ricky will be elite for sure. I think possibly one of the guys that could take the title of MJF. He didn't do it at Winter is Coming last year. Winter is coming this year. 1 year in the making. I think Ricky could do it then, maybe. That's just a little idea in my head. It's not what I think will happen. But I wouldn't be against it whatsoever. But yeah, Ricky Starks. Future leading man of the company, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Ricky Starks going in the great tier. Roderick Strong. He's only had a handful of matches, only like 3, I want to say. That Falls Count Anywhere match with Jericho was very fun. I've always felt like Roderick Strong was probably a bit of the sleeper pick in Undisputed Era, only because he was like the last guy to join it. But I like Roderick Strong. He's good in the ring. He just seems like a likable dude. He's kind of weird as a face. He's just like, hey, yeah, I'm helping out my friend Adam. Haha, I'll chop you in the dick. But then as a heel dude, he can be sick, nasty, vicious. So I can't wait to see heel Roderick Strong in AEW. I feel like that's when he'll shine the most. But right now, so as long as he's chilling, I'm glad he's finally doing something and not sitting in NXT for like however long it was, 6 months. So yeah, good on Roderick Strong for doing stuff. I really like the guy. So he's going in great. All right, we have Roosh. He is a violent man. He like beat the crap out of Bryan Danielson, beat the crap out of Jungle Boy on episode of Dynamite recently, leading up to Double or Nothing. He will kick your ass. And I think he's probably one of the more intense guys, and that's a good thing. I'm glad AEW has a guy like Roosh who's like super intense and isn't afraid to get, to fight dirty and fight stiff and, punch a guy square in the mouth if he has to. I like Roosh. I could see him maybe being the one to dethrone Orange Cassidy. Or hell, even if Wardlow held on to the title, maybe Roosh versus Wardlow. That would be a good, like, kind of hoss fight. I mean, they're not the biggest guys, but they can fight hard probably. But yeah, Roosh is going bottom of great. I'm not too familiar with him though, and I wouldn't put him in the same, like, I'm not as hyped to see him on TV as I am for people like Roderick and Bandito and Juice and Jay. So I'll put him top of fine, but it's just like a Ricky situation where he's so close to moving up for me. All right, we are moving on to the fourth and final pillar, I think. I think we got all the 4 pillars. We got Sammy Guevara. He's expecting, good for him and Ty Mello. He's very good in the ring. His heel antics are kind of annoying, but I guess that's his thing. But now he's slightly turning into a face. So yeah, he's kind of like in this like weird limbo position where it's like you don't know whether to cheer him. You feel like you should boo him, but you don't know if you should cheer him. But I like Sammy. Very bottom of great. It really depends on his booking. That ladder match with Cody Rhodes at Beach Break, I believe it was, where he won the TNT championships, that big ladder cutter, holy hell. Sammy will risk. He'll risk it all to put on a good show, and you can't shame him for that. Good on you, Sammy, for trying to make some moments. Yeah, it's really the booking and just the way he acts sometimes. I don't know. The whole sticking his tongue out thing is like, okay, buddy, we get it. You're crazy. But yeah, I like Sammy. So we're going great. Bottom of great. Samoa Joe. Top of great. He's been mainly a Ring of Honor guy now, but he did have the Collision tag match against CM Punk and FTR along with Jay and Juice. He had a great, series with Darby. I think they had, 3 matches where they traded the TNT title, which I don't like that they trade that title constantly. I can't remember the last person that had, a long reign with it. I guess Sammy's first reign, maybe? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I like Samoa Joe. Badass. And I think they're going to keep on doing some more stuff with him, and that's good. I like Samoa Joe on my TV, so good on him for being one of the main guys on Collision. Scorpio Sky, reach for the sky. He has such a banger theme song. He's going to be back on Collision. I don't know when he's making his, return match. I don't know when that's going to be. Might be this Saturday, might be the Saturday afterwards. He's on the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I feel like that would have been a good place to bring him back, maybe. But I guess they got other plans. I like Scorpio Sky. I don't find anything wrong with him. He was a good person to win that brass ring, the Face of the Revolution ladder match. He was TNT champion, but he wasn't champion. I think he beat Sammy, right? And then he held it until he lost to Sammy. No, he lost to Wardlow in a borderline squash match, I think it was. It's just very, I don't know, all the Collision guys have had a very rocky AEW career, except for Samoa Joe. He's somewhat consistent, just hasn't been on TV too often, but he is doing ROH stuff, so you can't really blame him for not being on Dynamite all the time. But yeah, Scorpio Sky, I like him a lot. Him and Ethan Page, Men of the Year tag team was good. Yeah, I like Scorpio Sky. Serpentico, he's really silly on Twitter. He's just I like Serpentico. He just seems like a nice little guy. He said, I'm going to put him in great. Yeah, he has a lot of losses, but his Twitter feud and just feud in general with Nyla Rose is funny. He's just likable. He hasn't done much at all in AEW except for take L's. But I just like Serpentico. What can I say? I'll put him top of fine. I don't think I could put him in the same tier as Keith Lee and Eddie and all them. But yeah, I like Serpentico. I'll put him in fine. All right, Sean Dean. He's beaten MJF twice now. Whoa, he could be the one to dethrone MJF. If Sean Dean was built up enough, he's had a focus on him the past year on TV, maybe he could be the one to beat MJF. But he shows up and beats MJF, and that's it. So I feel I wish Sean Dean would get more TV time. I do think he's a likable guy, I have not seen much from him though, other than like whenever they care to show him do something important. So top of not terrible. Shawn Spears. Um, he feels bland at times, but the chairsman thing where he cracked the chair over Cody Rhodes' head, if they would have just rolled with that, like, oh, he's such a bastard for doing that. Oh my god. Yeah, you joined the Pinnacle, and then, you know, part of it is not being booked. Part of it is Peyton Royce and him just had their firstborn. So it's like a mix of not being booked, but he also, you know, good that he gets to be a dad. I don't know. I really don't know what the situation is. He showed up during like the Ricky and Jay White thing, and he was sitting in the crowd holding up like card numbers, wasn't he? He was like clapping and he was like, yay. I don't know. I like Shawn Spears. Top of fine. I just wish he would have more opportunities. That's really it. Now it's Sting. Sting is great. Sting is just fun. Like, Sting's like, yeah, alright, I'll jump off a freaking arena ledge through some tables. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Sting's just fun. His promos recently against MJF and Jericho have been real silly. Like, ooh, hey, you're cussing at me. He's cussing under his breath. He's just such a fucker. I love Sting. I love AEW Sting. Good that he is getting like kind of like a redemption angle. Not like really an angle, but like he had the 2 losses in WWE after being a TNA WCW guy forever. And then had the 2 losses. Thought he was going to be gone for good from wrestling because of the injury. But then he came back and he's had nothing but banger matches in AEW. There hasn't been one Sting match where I'm like, that wasn't that good. Sting is just, he's doing it. You know, him and Darby are a good pairing. They're not forcing it down our throats too. It's like, oh, Sting and Darby, they're really close, okay, guys? It's like Darby shows up alone sometimes, but if he does need backup, Sting is happy, more than happy to come out and say something and help him. But yeah, good for Sting. Now you got Stokely Hathaway. He is recently like the new like what's the word? Something. Him and Jerry Lynn, I think, are like the ambassadors for Ring of Honor. The higher ups. I don't know what they're called. But Stokely's just so funny on Twitter, on AEW TV. I'm sure he'll be funny on Ring of Honor. I almost want to put Stokely in Elite, but I'll put him in Great. You know, I wish he was on my screen more often, but he's doing the Ring of Honor stuff now. So yeah, I love Stokely Hathaway. We got Stu Grayson. He got released and came back, but he was part of the Dark Order. Him and Stu Grayson. This is Stu Grayson. I'm an idiot. Him and Evil Uno were a fun tag team. But now he's back. He's been doing Ring of Honor stuff with, I don't remember their names. There's so much wrestling going on right now, man. But he is in like a feud with Dark Order on Ring of Honor. Like him and the Voodoo guy. I don't know their names. But yeah, he's like, oh, I don't like you anymore, Dark Order. I can't keep up with it, man. I don't watch Ring of Honor. And I keep forgetting their names. The Horror King is Vincent something. Oh my god. If you watch Ring of Honor and are watching this, you're probably like, you're so close, Nick, but fuck you. But yeah, Stu Grayson's somewhat underrated. I feel like he'd be a good singles guy. His matches are always fun to watch. When they went to Canada to do the match with, I can't remember who. Damn, there's so much wrestling. But yeah, bottom line, I like Stu Grayson. He's chill. He's going in fine. Swerve Strickland, he's going up in the great tier. I do like Swerve. I really wish they would do that blow-off match with him and Keith Lee at Double or Nothing, but they didn't. They're not going to do it at Forbidden Door. What is he doing at Forbidden Door? I don't think he's doing anything. Oh, the Collision tomorrow. He's facing Tanahashi, bro. Holy shit. But I like Swerve. I think he is definitely a guy that can win some AEW gold. He can even be AEW World Champion. I don't know how soon that will be, but I think keep him on TV weekly like they have been, and AEW Championship material for sure. All right, we're going to Wardlow. Wardlow's world. Poor Wardlow. Just not very good booking. And then also out of his control stuff like MJF kind of bailing on the meet and greet, like, is he going to show up at Double or Nothing? And he did, and then it kind of took the shine away from Wardlow's big breakout moment, the true breakaway from MJF. It sucks that happened. He won the TNT title, lost it, won the TNT title, lost it, won the TNT title, and he just lost it to Luchasaurus via Christian Cage camera shenanigans. What the hell are they going to do? I really liked him and Arn Anderson as a pairing. I liked the ladder match at Double or Nothing. They could have had him beat Luchasaurus. I think they didn't. I mean, it'll be fun to see what Christian does with the TNT title. But they didn't need to do that. They could have kept Wardlow. I don't know. I like Wardlow. I'm putting him in great. Bottom of great. They're doing my man dirty. I don't know what can be done now. They might need to turn him heel, a full repackage, maybe have him just disappear from TV for a while. Oh no, he did that when Smojo cut his ponytail or whatever. Shit. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? I like Wardlow. I hope for the best. Wheeler Yuta, dude. Man's gotten a pin off of Kenny Omega at the Anarchy in the Arena. They're setting this man up. He's like the youngin' in the BCC. Daniel Bryan's kind of main protege. They're like, all right, Wheeler, do some neck bridges in the Red Rocks. But yeah, I like Wheeler Yuta. I've always been a fan. Even when he wasn't doing too much, he was just kind of chilling with best friends. I still liked him. I thought he was really talented. Then he was bleeding out with, not bleeding out, but like, you know, going out there and bleeding with Jon Moxley and just having his white, like, tights soaked in red. Good stuff, Wheeler Yuta. And maybe he'll be the one to beat Orange Cassidy. I don't know. It's midnight, by the way. I've been recording for an hour and 36 minutes. I've been like non-stop talking, so there wouldn't even be any need for that many cuts. This video would still be over an hour. Holy hell. Zach Clayton. What? Who? Wait. He came out on a episode of Rampage to accept Wardlow's open challenge, I think. Is this the guy? Who the hell is Zach Clayton? Was this Two Dimes or Tony D'Angelo on NXT's guy, right? Not Stacks, that's current guy. This is Two Dimes, right? Fuck if I know. I don't know. Sorry, Zach Clayton. If you ever watch this, I'm sorry. It's not your fault. Alright, the women's division. We have Abaddon. I am a big fan of Abaddon. They are very spooky. Just the aura and the entrance. I love it. The matches are alright too. I know they've been getting in shape. I've seen on their Twitter they've been putting in that work. I think they're injured right now. I think. I'm not entirely sure. But you know, one of the more winningest members of the roster in the women's division, at least, I think. Like, I think their record's like 30 and something? 30 and like 2? I don't know. I like the aura and the aesthetic, but they just haven't done much since the big Halloween street fight with Britt Baker on Rampage, I think. But Abaddon's cool. Abaddon's going in fine. Then we have Anna Jay. Kind of, not directionless. She's been in JAS. I think she was like, I'm going to choke you out, bitch, or I'm going to tap you out, bitch, or I don't know. Anna Jay's been a part of AEW for quite a while, and she's improved quite a bit. I like Anna Jay. I got nothing bad to really say about her. Recently, there just hasn't been much that she's been doing. I think she had a title match against Chris Statlander. I think. She just hasn't done anything like... No, she's done some pretty cool street fights with Ty Mello against whoever their opponents are. The 2 street fights they've had. Willow and Ruby, I think. And then the first one was Penelope and Allie, I think it was. Yeah, so Anna Jay's been putting in the work. She's going in fine as well. Athena, ROH Women's Champion. I love Athena. I loved her as Ember Moon. I'm glad she's a champion. They did not waste much time making her champion and inserting her into a championship feud. Lost to Jade Cargill. Okay, understandable. Jade Cargill's a beast. Dude, I'm losing it. Hang in there. We're almost at the end. But I'm glad Athena is women's champion in ROH. I hope she holds that title for quite a while, honestly. I don't know. Since I don't watch ROH, I don't know who in that division could beat her for it, for the women's championship. Maybe she'll need to make a little step up to AEW, win some more women's gold. I don't know. But I like Athena a lot. Glad she's getting her moment and her time to shine. In great she goes. We have Britt Baker, DMD. Not the biggest fan of Britt Baker, but she has done a lot for the AEW women's division as being kind of like the face of it for a while until more women kind of get filtered in and start like doing their own thing. But props to Britt Baker. I would put her in elite, but I'm just not the biggest fan of her. I do like her though. I like her. But yeah, Britt Baker, top of great. Now the Bunny. I do like the Bunny. I think she's very likable. I've seen all of her, like, not all of her stuff, but when she shows up on AEW's Twitch channel, when she has Danhausen and all the gang trying Oreo flavors. She likes the Puppet Master series, I think. She just seems like a cool person, dude. So, Bunny is going. But I'm no great. I just like her. I think her personality is great. Her little, like, run down to the ring and then she, like, does the little bite at the camera. It's just the little things like that. I like the Bunny quite a bit. I think her, Penelope, Kip, Butcher Blade are a good little group. If they put them on TV more often and had them be more serious, like a serious threat to like trios or tag divisions, I think they could be even better. But yeah, I really like the Bunny. More like the outside of the ring stuff, but she is, good when she's on TV. All right, we had Diamante. She's been chilling more in the ROH scene and more the AEW Dark scene when that was a thing. But I do like Diamante. She's a badass. She's tough. She'll go in fine. They haven't given her much. I think she was like a real, like, not dangerous threat, but like seemed like a big threat to Jade Cargill. And I think Diamante lost in somewhat of a squash. It was like, oh man, I really thought they were going to go like hard-hitting match. But oh well, I like Diamante. I hope she gets more TV time and more opportunities. Emi Sakura, she had a title match against Rio at the first ever Full Gear pay-per-view, I want to say. I might be mistaken. I don't know. Her and... I don't remember who. I think it was her and Toni Storm who had a Rampage main event. I might be mistaken, but they put on a good match there. Her Freddie Mercury little getup is fun. She does a thing where does she sit on the referee's knee? Like she like kneels him down, sits on her knee, and like crosses her legs and like does a little tea sipping thing. She's just full of charisma. I haven't seen too much from her though, but she is fine. I like Emi Sakura. Going in fine tier. And now we have QTV. Yeah, QTV. She's funny. She sings well. I saw her on Twitter and all that singing, and all the AEW roster was coming out to support her. Cool. But the QTV stuff, man, even though I like her and Aaron Solo doing the little back and forth like joke stuff they do, it's just, I don't know, man. Hikaru Shida, probably my first AEW women's roster person. What the fuck am I talking about? First competitor on the AEW women's roster that I really like became a fan of. Like their women's roster earlier, the division wasn't super great. Like Rio became women's champion, and then quickly pandemic hit. AEW had a rough start. The fact that AEW is still kicking, and like a few months after they debuted, pandemic hit. Good for them. You can talk shit about AEW, but you can't deny they push through all the shit they go through. Hikaru Shida, probably my first favorite like standout in the women's division for AEW. So she's going in elite. Plus, she had a great match with Ty Conti. I think gave her one of her best matches on Dynamite when she was women's champion. Had a great match with Toni Storm that I think main evented at Dynamite, I want to say. But yeah, I love Hikaru Shida. Awesome. And she plays the recorder. So cool. Jade Cargill. I gotta put her... the match quality, because she's had so many squash matches, I'll put her top of great with Britt. But she has been improving nonstop. Longest, if we're basing off accolades and just presence on screen, she'd be in the elite tier for sure. Same with Britt Baker. but this is more of an opinionated list. And yeah, Hikaru Shida, Elite, Jade Cargill is up there for sure. Probably, maybe the top AEW women's wrestler, just based on like I was saying, accolade and like TV time and whatever. She's up there with Britt. Longest title reign in AEW so far, I think. When she lost, it was a huge moment. Not just for Chris Statlander, who won it, but just the loss is like, holy crap, she lost. Her entrances at the big shows are always like fantastic, whether it's like a cosplay or just like all the pretty girls walk like this. That was a pretty cool entrance, not gonna lie. But yeah, Jade Cargill's up there and great. And then we have Jamie Hayter. Sucks that she got injured. I think she probably would have beaten Toni Storm. But because of the injury, they had that weird little angle match at Double or Nothing and had Toni Storm win. So unfortunate, but I really like Jamie Hayter. I like her slightly better than Britt Baker, a tiny bit. She's hard-hitting, her matches are always good, and she has like a no BS attitude. It's like, Hayter hits hard, it's like, yeah, she's gonna hit hard. Good job. Yeah, I like Jamie Hayter. Going in great. Sorry if you can hear me like tapping my knee a bunch. I'm just like getting all angsty because I've been recording for like almost 2 hours now. If you're sick, if this video sucks, I'm so sorry. I wanted to... Never mind. Kiera Hogan! I like Kiera Hogan. I think she has a cool look to her. The blue hair and all. I think... Was she in Impact with Tasha Steelz, I think? Weren't they a tag team? I think that's where I first like started watching her stuff. I think so. I might be crazy. But yeah. She hasn't done too much in AEW. Her and Red Velvet... I can't remember, dude. There's so much shit at AEW. And this has been such a long video. Was it her and Red Velvet that were, like, Jade's buddies? Or was it just Red Velvet and, Gray, whatever her name is. Where is blah, blah, blah Gray? Am I stupid? Is she not signed? Is it Layla Gray? I'm blanking so fucking hard. I like Kiera Hogan. She hasn't done too much. Going in fine. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, no, she's not on here. The girl that always hangs out with Jade. I gotta be stupid. Oh, whatever. Chris Statlander, my favorite women's wrestler in AEW and probably in all of wrestling right now. I love Chris Statlander. I was so bummed both times she got injured. But she's back and she championship gold. I love Chris Statlander. I'm so happy that she's champion. More than a woman. You know, the whole sign language thing is cool. Had a good match against Nyla Rose and against who'd she just face? I'm blanking so hard. Taya Valkyrie. Yes, good match. Chris Statlander, all the best friends I love so much. And that's why they're all in the elite tier. And Layla Hirsch. Oh, no. Oh, am I about to F up the tier list? No. Okay. Layla Hirsch, injured right now, but I was a fan of her up until she got injured, and it's like, okay, what is she doing now? So until she comes back, it's whatever. I do like Layla Hirsch. I'll put her in great, because I was a big fan of her. I thought she had, like, the right intensity, and it's like, you know, it's always great when a wrestler that isn't, like, you know, the biggest dog in the fight still makes you believe, like, oh no, they're still a threat, dude. Don't let size fool you at all. I love Layla Hirsch. Good for her. I feel like she was being built up to be in a lot of major women's storylines. Unfortunately, injury kind of derailed that. But yeah, Layla Hirsch going in the great tier. And now we have Madison Rayne. She hasn't done much. She's one of the few people in AEW that has more losses than wins, but she's more of a coaching kind of person. I liked her in Impact. I'm not too familiar with her, but all the stuff I've seen from her, Killer Queen, I think, was her thing. I like Madison Rayne. Does no harm for me. I like Madison Rayne. Marina Shafir. Again, not too familiar. I know her from NXT. Didn't do too much there. Got released with Jessamine Duke. She teams with Nyla a lot. She calls herself the Problem. And then, yeah. I feel like if she was put in a more serious role, maybe a bit more training and a bit more like story to whatever she does. I feel like she can move up to like the great tier or something. But I just haven't seen too much from her. But I do like Marina Shafir. Again, it's like another Madison Rain situation where like she does no harm for me, and I like her. So going in fine. There's so many people in fine. I could probably shift some people around, but it don't matter because we're moving on to Mercedes Martinez. I feel like I've been one of the only fans of Mercedes Martinez. I feel like she doesn't get enough love. I liked her as soon as she appeared in NXT. I was already hooked. I was glad that she made the move to AEW after getting released, and I'm glad she wasn't a part of that Retribution stable for long. So yeah, Mercedes Martinez, dude. Okay, wait. I think it's her NXT theme, but it's like when the gun like it like shoots and like reloads, and that like slides into her like her theme. Such a badass theme song, bro. The whole cape she wears and like the mask. I like Mercedes Martinez. Bottom of great. She's hard hitting. I haven't seen too much from her in AEW. I know she was women's champion for ROH, I want to say. I think so. But I've been going crazy the last half of the tier list, so maybe don't believe me. Nyla Rose. She's very funny on Twitter. She's very dominant in the ring. Got no complaints with Nyla Rose. She's kind of like the person that gets thrown out there every time. It's like, all right, you just won a title. Who do you want to feud with? It's like, oh, here's Nyla. There you go. But you know, she's been a women's champion, so she is credible. So you know, it's not like, oh, here's Nyla. I guess it's like, you know, she's been a champion. You know, treat her with some damn respect. Damn it. But yeah, I like Nyla Rose. If Twitter Nyla Rose got the shine on AEW Dynamite or Collision, it'd be so great. Like when she stole the belt from Jade, I know some people didn't like that, but I thought it was kind of funny. Her and Vicky were a good pairing. It sucks that Vicky is no longer in the company. But yeah, I like Nyla Rose. No harm, no foul. I'd almost put her in Elite just for her Twitter game alone. But I feel like she's kind of taken a back seat in recent months on TV, at least. So yeah, going in great. Paige Van Zant, putting her in meh because she's had one match. I think she did a mixed tag. Was it with Scorpio? Yeah, it was like Scorpio, Paige against Sammy and Ty, but Frankie Kazarian was also there. Was it Ethan Page? And I don't know. I think she did okay in that match. She had a good spot when Sammy and Scorpio had a ladder match. I forgot everything she's done, but I know there's something she did that impressed me. And yeah, I don't know. She's done like a couple things. So I hope I see her soon, because I think I'd probably be a fan of her. All right, we have Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian. You know, she's a super bad girl. Super bad girl. Yeah, Penelope Ford. I think she was injured, and I think she's cleared now, but she just hasn't done much on TV since being cleared. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I like Penelope Ford. Penelope, as Booker T once called her. You know, I feel like that's a big case for a lot of the AEW roster. It's like they show up on TV. There's a portion of their run in AEW that's like, all right, they're important for a little bit, and then they kind of take a back seat and just have matches every now and then. It's like, I like them, but they don't do anything notable. No harm, no foul. They're cool. And that's a good chunk of the women's roster. I feel like it needs to be more defined. AEW's roster could use some work, but it has definitely improved since like the 2021 days, or not 2021, like just the early days of AEW. I feel like each year their women's roster gets a little bit better, and that's good. Now we have Rebel. I like Rebel a lot. I think her and Britt are a fun pair. I like that she's just kind of running down to the ring. I know she caused a lot of distractions. They call her Reba, Britt calls her Reba. But I feel like, I don't know, is it me or have they had more mutual respect for one another? Like, I don't know. Like, Reba's, I did it too. Rebel's always like admired Britt Baker. And then like when Britt was like a super heel, it's like, yeah, Reba, go do this, do that. But now, I haven't seen Rebel recently, unless I'm blinking. Because it seems like it's mainly been the Britt and Jamie show until Jamie got injured, and now Britt's kind of chilling on her own. So yeah, but I like Rebel. I think her and Britt are a good pairing. I'll put her in fine, because, you know, she's just kind of like managerial role. And now we have Red Velvet. Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up, stir it up. I like Red Velvet. Another one of those wrestlers where it's like, I was a fan of them, but then kind of injury derailed it. It's like, ah, dang, it looked like you had some good plans. I wish they would have done more with her splitting from Jade. I know, at least I think they had a title match. I don't. It's just they don't put enough like focus on it. That's why I'm like having a hard time remembering a lot of this stuff. Holy crap, we're almost at 2 hours. But I do like Red Velvet. I think one of her first dark matches back in 2020. I know I like watched one of her earlier matches when she was mainly on AEW Dark, and I was a fan of her. The little stir it up thing, Red Velvet from Your Mama's Kitchen, I believe that's what the ring announcer was saying. Good stuff. Simple but effective. No harm. And I really enjoy her stuff. So Red Velvet is going in the great tier. Holy crap, we just have up until Yuka Sakazaki. Yes, I'm probably not gonna do any of these, the staff and all that. Holy crap. Alright, Riho, first ever AEW Women's Champion, the real demo god. Every time she's on TV, it seems like AEW gets close to 1 million viewers. At least that's what Twitter likes to point out. And hey, no problem with that. Putting her up there with Jamie, Britt, and Jade. I like her a lot. She's not featured all the time on AEW, but when she does, it's nice to see Riho. It's like if Rio's booked for a match and I see it on Twitter, I'm like, hey, Rio's here, let's go. But yeah, that's really it. And Ruby Soho, one of my favorite women's division stars in AEW. Sucks that she had that big debut in the battle royal, but then lost to Britt Baker, okay. Then lost the tournament to become TBS champion, okay. Then lost the Owen Hart Cup to Britt Baker, okay. I was like, okay. But now she's with the Outcast, and that's okay. All of her whole run's just been okay, but I'm glad that she's had like spotlight on her. I'm glad that she's being put in storylines that are, even if they're not the best, they're still like among the top women's things happening in AEW. So she's that plus I just like her. I'll put her in Elite. If it was just what I was saying before, saying opinionated stuff, I'd put her in Great. But I've always liked Ruby Riott back in NXT. I like Ruby Soho now in AEW. She's going in Elite. I just really enjoy Ruby Soho's stuff, and I kind of wish she would have been first Owen Hart champion. I get why they wanted Jade to win the TBS title, and I get that Ruby just debuted, lost to Britt Baker, but the Owen Hart Cup, I feel like she should have won. You know? Yeah. Alright, we're going down to Saraya. Man, it's not really her fault. They turned her heel way too soon. She just came back, you know. It's like, oh, the match with Britt wasn't too good, but, you know, ring rust, she's been away for a few years. But then they're like, oh, I'm a bad guy now, so fuck you all. You're all a bunch of losers. Spray paint and loser sign, and it's just, damn. I gotta put her in top of not terrible, because I really want to like Saraya, but the heel stuff is just more annoying than, ooh, she's a heel, yeah, go, boo, I like booing you. It's more like, I hate to boo you, but I gotta. You know what I mean? Serena Deeb. Where the hell has Serena Deeb been? Has she been on Ring of Honor? Is she injured? I don't know. But I like Serena Deeb. I'll put her up there next to Red Velvet and Nyla Rose and Mercedes and all them. She could have been a good contender to win that Owen Hart tournament, honestly. She's probably maybe the best women's technician in the women's division for AEW, maybe. Is that a stretch? No pun intended, because, you know, submission holds involve stretching sometimes, like pulling back on stuff, you know, get it? Funny joke. But yeah, I like Serena Deeb. She had a good few matches with her. Oh, God. Can you tell I'm struggling? She had a good run of matches with Hikaru Shida. Yeah, pretty fun stuff there. And, you know, not much to say. I think Serena Deeb's great. That's why she's going in the great tier. Sky Blue. She set somebody on fire when she was young. Hear about that? Yeah, I heard about it too, which makes me like her even more. I'm a big fan of Sky Blue. She just has a nice vibe to her. She seems like a very fun person. And it seems like they're kind of like building her and building her to be like, you know, from future star to, oh, she is hanging with the best of them. So I'm glad that Sky Blue is getting opportunities. And yeah, if you're just a nice person and you get TV time and good opportunities, that's all you really need. Just be a good person. Like, there's a lot of people that seem like they're a bunch of dicks. But, you know, if you're a good person, good for you, I'm glad. Sky Blue's a good person, it seems like. Had a good title match against Toni Storm. And had a good tag match with Willow, I think it was, against Toni Storm and Ruby Riott. Ruby Soho, my bad. Scrolling down, we got Ty Mello. Before she turned heel, she was fun. You know, nice, like, someone that you want to cheer for. And then she turned heel. All the kissy stuff with Sammy. It's like, okay, go away. But I still like Ty. Another superstar that's been just improving as the years go by. So I'll put her, just because I haven't been a fan of everything she's been doing, I'm going to put her top of fine. But she's right there. She's close. I think if she would have stayed face, I would have, hell, she might have been champion. But yeah, I probably would have enjoyed her run a little bit more if she stayed face. But I'm glad that she gets to become a mother. Her and Sammy hopefully will make some good parents. And yeah, I'm just happy for them. And now we're on to Taya Valkyrie. Hasn't been in the company for too long, but I have been a fan of her work back in Impact. And I think Triple A as well I've seen her in. Also, oh wait, what? Yeah, she was. She was in Lucha Underground, I think. But yeah, La Vera Loca, or whatever it is. She's going in great. I think she had a great match with Chris Statlander, great match with Jade Cargill, and I can't wait to see her in more matches. I mean, if you're a wrestler, that's really all you can hope for, is for people to hope to see you in more matches. But yeah, I like Taya. There are reports that maybe John Morrison might be coming to AEW and signing. So, holy hell, I love Johnny Mundo, Johnny Morrison, Johnny Elite, Johnny Television. I hope to God he becomes champion. But yeah, I like Ty a lot. Going in great. Thunder Rosa. A lot of backstage stuff with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in the women's locker room. I don't want to get into all that drama, but I like Thunder Rosa. She's great. Put her in great. She will be on Collision soon, I think. And yeah. Thunder Rosa. Toni Storm. I like Toni Storm a lot. The Outcast stuff is really hindering her. Just with the spray paint stuff. But she's still good. Still class. I think I'm going to put her top of great. If it weren't for that, if it was just the interim title stuff she did. And then I don't know. I feel like I like her better as a face. I mean, she's good as like a cocky heel. But she just is someone I want to cheer for. So I don't know. I feel very confused about Toni Storm. So I'm going to put her top of great, but I could easily put her next to Ruby Soho. Yeah, top of great. Willow Nightingale going in great as well. I love that she is the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. I know it was originally going to go to Mercedes, but Willow, perfect person to hold the title regardless. She could have been one of the people to beat Jade Cargill for the TBS title. Depending on how long Chris Statlander was going to be out for, I would have seen her actually do it, or I could have seen her actually do it. She's going to be facing Toni Storm at Forbidden Door. Should be a fun match. And Willow is just, like I said, for Toni Storm, just someone I want to cheer. And how can you not love Willow Nightingale? She's so happy, but then she could turn it on in the ring and be like vicious if she wants. And you know, she has the pounce. Good stuff all around from Willow Nightingale. With next year, if I redo this tier list, which holy shit, I probably won't. It's 2 hours. Maybe we'll do it every other year. I can see Willow moving up to elite status, but yeah, I like Willow Nightingale. Big fan of her. She's probably top 5 AEW Women's Division stars for me right now. And now we have Yuka Sakazaki, Magical Girl Splash, or Magical Sparkle, I think. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with her. I haven't seen her in too many matches on AEW. She hasn't been in too many. She's been in like only a handful. But she seems nice. You know, like I was saying earlier, if you're nice and you're on TV and you get opportunities, I like you. And she seems nice. She seems just happy to be there and cool beans. And yeah, I don't want to pretend like I know everything about her background and all that. but I do enjoy her when she's on my television screen. So she's going in fine. And that's going to do it. While I'm doing the outro, I'll just put these people wherever the heck. Alex Abrahantes, thank you for watching the video. He's a good hype man. He liked my tweet on Twitter once when I said him and Penta looked cool. So thank you, Alex Abrahantes. Appreciate you. But yeah, it's a long tier list. Alex Marvez, Jared calls him Fathead, and he seems like a chill guy. What else? Is there any other tier lists you want to see? I think I've done them all. I mean, I haven't done NXT, but I don't watch NXT, so I really couldn't do it. This is Spanish announced people. I think I have not listened to AEW Spanish commentary, so I don't know. Dasha Gonzalez, I like her commentary, her ring announcing. She'll go in fine. Excalibur, my favorite commentator in the game. I love him. JR, bit of a bumpy road, but he's a legend. But on AEW, ooh, it's been a little bit of a rough one, so put him in fine. But yeah, sorry for wasting your time. If you sat through this whole video, let me know in the comments. And yeah, none of this is being cut because I waited too long to record this thing, you know. I got friends and video games to play. Justin Roberts, Dapper Yapper, put him in great. I like Justin Roberts. Make sure you like and subscribe. Lexi Nair, good interviewer. She's friends with Ryan Nemeth, I think. They do a little back and forth. Renee Paquette, love Renee Paquette. Hell, she's going to Elite. I love Renee Paquette. Love her podcast. Nigel McGuinness, amazing NXT. Only has done a couple commentary gigs in AEW, but he's voice of Collision with Kevin Kelly. Gonna put him in fine right now. I love Taz. Taz is going in Elite. Thank you for watching. I'm just kind of Tony Schiavone. I love that man so much. Something about him, putting him in Elite. Arn Anderson, he's gonna pull a Glock out on me if I don't put him in fine or higher, so we'll put him in great. And we are gonna wrap it up with Jerry. I haven't seen any of Jerry Lynn's stuff. I know his ECW TNA. I haven't seen any Jerry Lynn stuff. He seems like a nice guy. I'll put him in fine. Pat Buck, he wrestled on the house shows. I'll put him in fine. He trained the Acclaimed and MJF, so he's got to be good. And that's all. All these people aren't employed by the company anymore. This is Spanish Announce Table guy, I think. Feels weird having all these unemployed guys and then him here. So we'll put him in fine. I'm sure he's lovely to listen to. And yeah, there we go. There's your AEW tier list. We have all these people in Elite, the best tier. We have all these people here in Great, which is like second best, almost my favorites, but I'd watch them every time they show up on TV. Just enjoyable people right here that don't get to do too much, but I still like them. Not terrible. They just haven't done a lot, but I like them a little bit. And then meh, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing here, but you're chill, I guess. Thank you for watching. I'm out of breath. I'm going to chug a little bit of this root beer. Goodbye.